We're learning the Tomer Devorah, Le'ilu Nishmas Eisha Chashuva Zahava Bas Dovid Levi, and we are in the middle of the ninth midah. The ninth midah is ותשליך במצולות ים כל חטאיהם. How does it work? How does Tashlich work? We throw the Averos to the sea. How does Seir La'azozel work? How does it work exactly that the Averos are transferred to Seir La'azozel? How does it go? Is it a freebie? Explains the Tomer Devorah in the first part of the midah. You already explained that that's not the way it works. It's simply that once we really decide to do teshuvah and accept upon ourselves Yisurim, Chalila, but if we have to, we accept that we may have to suffer as a result of our sins as part of the teshuvah process, then, and only then, HaKadosh Baruch Hu transfers the bad energy, the Averos, on the Samach Mem, on the Sitra Achra, which may be the Seir La'azozel or other forces, and then they, in their turn, they perish. The Seir La'azozel has to die very quickly because all the Averos and all the bad energy created by the Averos, once we really regret what we did and we are willing to accept Yisurim, then Hashem says, okay, now you got the message, the Yisurim will go on something else and that will go away. Continues the second part of the Torah Devorah. Today we'll get a little bit more philosophical, a little bit deeper. The reason HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes al olamoi shekol mi she'aseh ken yisbatel. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a gzeira that anybody that does that will be annulled. Anybody that causes us to sin, anybody that's being bad to us, or anybody that has to do with our Averos will eventually perish. It says if a person, Chalila, heaven forbid, the person is involved in bestiality, so it says you kill the animal. So the question is, why? What did the animal do? The Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Memhei, Amud Beis, and Nudalot and Mudalef, the Gemara discusses over there, he brings it down in the parish. Why did you kill the animal? What wrong did the animal do? The Gemara gives the reason because people should not see the behema, the animal walking down the street and say, that's a dog, that's a cow, and so was killed because of it. We respect the dead person's dignity, and the Tomer Devorah says no, because the Avera was transferred to that animal, so now the animal has to die. That creature that has all the bad energy in it now was transferred to it has to go. The stone that the person that has the Misas based in, the way they execute him is by stone, that stone, or the sword of the person that deserves to be killed by a sword, let's say he killed somebody, he has to die by the sword, they too are required to be buried. Why? Again, there are different reasons. Explains the Tomer Devorah. The Ramak goes Kabbalistic, and he says, "Levatel mitziusam v'koichom," to annul, to completely nullify their reality and their power. After shigmol dinom, once the din is over, they did their job. They got the bad energy into them. Now it's their turn to be buried, to perish, to go to a different place. And that is exactly the secret of a tzelem shel Nebuchadnezzar. He's entering a whole new field over here. The tzelem, the big statue, big ominous statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw in his dream, and Daniel interpreted the dream for Nebuchadnezzar, and then Nebuchadnezzar saw it again, he envisioned it, and what does it say there? Yisrael were first given in the hands, as we know, in the first Churban, the first destruction, in the hands of the king of Bavel. It has a head out of gold. The head made out of gold. Gold is midas hadin. Gold is like similar. The Gemara in Yuma says gold is similar to blood. It's a bit reddish of the metals, and that's why it has to be representing din, harsh judgment. And that was Bavel. They had no mercy. They destroyed Beis HaMikdash. But then that's the top part of that statue was made out of gold, and it represented Babel. Then that head already was gone. The next Golus, now Israel, we are now unfortunately given in the hands of a different empire, another type of Golus, another exile, which is Persia. The Chadoi is the chest and the hands, the arms, are made out of silver. Arms, there are two arms, besides, as opposed to one head. Porous were really two kingdoms that alternated. They had like this, like some kind of agreement between them. Paras and Modai. Paras and Modai were like the chest and the hands of silver. Silver is a more forgiving metal. Silver is similar to white, because Paras also were more merciful. They allowed us to build Beis HaMikdash. One pushes the other, one usurps the other, one golus, another golus. The other one is Yovan. Yovan is the Choshes copper, which is very strong and tough. And there was Yovan, it was all encompassing, and that was the loins and the stomach. And then eventually the current goal at the end of days will be falling into the hands of the legs and the feet. There are minun de palzel, some of them are they're made out of, in the statue, it was made out of palzel, of iron, and some from clay, earthenware. And that represents Esav. Esav is palzel. Al-Chal b'chatichia, that's technology, that's real military power, iron. Yeah, and the Arabs are like the clay. What's the purpose of all of it? What's going to be at the end of the day? What will be the happy end of this, the entire sad story of ongoing exiles? But at the end, Hashem will really punish them. Hashem will judge them. At the end of days, it says, in Hazinu Chitzai Achalebam, I will finish off my chitzim, my arrows in them. Chitzai Kolim, I will run out of arrows, says Hashem. V'Yisrael Einam Kolim, V'Yisrael will not perish. Which means Hashem, as much as we think we're suffering, we are actually the ones that are withstanding. We outlive all the other nations. But then at the very end, what's going to happen, and this is interesting, now it's getting to the point, but at the end of the day, he'll pulverize, dak. He will pulverize, he will grind kachada, look very, very thin. All these metals together will become like powder. What does that mean? Let's see. Here about Cholok, at the beginning it says, the tselem, that statue, which represents the different exiles, will only stand on his feet, and we call it tselem el. He will only have feet. You see a big statue, but really when you look up close, there's just the feet. Nothing's there. That's the goal today. There's no content to anything today. It's just the feet. It's like a whole big story. The whole technology and media, they're so loud, everything, but what's behind it? They have no power anymore. They don't have the head, they don't have the hands, they don't even have the stomach. So it seems like it's all over. And yet there will be something. It's not over till it's over. At the end of the day, Hashem will pulverize them to thin powder. Also, Hashem will again place Hashem will place all of them, will put them in the place, him and all the wicked people who are working in the department of the Samichmen, and he will actually judge them. That he'll get over and done with them. The Hainu, and this is Tashlich, ותשליך במצולות ים כל חטאיהם. You will cast into the depth of the sea all the sins. יוצא, השליך כוח הדין להפיל על ידי אלו שהם מצולות ים. In other words, they themselves are like the sea. אלו הם מצולות ים. I saw in the commentary, it says, they're like the sea. Sea is midas hadin. Sea, the yam is midas hadin, is olam hazeh. It's something that's not forgiving. It swallows. It says that the yam always swallows, and it's something very demanding. People drown in tragedies. So too, the Rishonim, they'll go into the sea and drown there because it's Midah Keneged Midah. They too, they're like two houses on fire. They manage with each other. That's their end. To be in another Midah Sadin, just like they themselves in Midah Sadin. They belong there. The Rishonim like the sea that's Nigrash, that is like, that keeps moving away, and cannot keep quiet. And its water will spit out dirt and mud. Those who do din b'Yisrael, is called mulam. It's not that they deserve a punishment as much as you would say, well, Hashem told Paro to do that. Hashem told Nebuchadnezzar to do that, or I don't know if he told him, but he's part of the divine plan. So why do you tell me that he deserves a punishment? Well, first of all, he did too much, that we said before. He overdid his job, and also the bad energy of us who did teshuvah. It's supposed to Nebuchadnezzar and Haman and all these people have their own account that did not do teshuvah. Those affairs that we committed, and we're willing to pay for it, and we're willing to suffer. Now Hashem says, okay, you got the message, I'll pass it on to those going to hurt you, and eventually they will just be gone because the bad energy has to disappear at the end of times. And here he says again, the reason after Yisrael accepted the din upon themselves, they took it like a man. Wow, now he's saying something new. Hashem is misnachim, Hashem, as if he regrets even the previous avera, the tovea el boinam, which means, as we explained before, Kadosh Baruch Hu is not in a power struggle with us. He's not like one of these young fathers where, the kid did this to me, I'll do this to him, keeping account. That's not the story of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. He's not out there to outsmart us. On the contrary, he feels that Kadosh Baruch Hu knows that was just a short period of time in which we had to be punished, but he's not happy about it. Yeah, he wants to go back to normal, loving relationship with us. And as such, now he's Tovea their elbow, now he claims back their dignity. They were insulted by the goyim. Not only that, as we said before, Hashem is a little bit. Hashem is a little bit angry. Hashem said, Nebuchadnezzar, I give my children to you, even if he didn't say to them, but maybe he said it to their master in Shemayim, to the Malach, they did a job way, way, way too well, much more than the Kadosh Baruch Hu actually wanted them to do, and that alone is the reason for them to be punished. That's why it goes on them, and eventually they perish. What does that to do with us? As always, the Tomer Devorah finishes off with a way that, with a lesson for us in our relationship with other people. Before that, I'd like to add a small story that I personally know people who very nicely and kindly, they lend their house for Tashlich on Rosh Hashanah, and they have a fish tank, an aquarium, a fish tank, and the lady told me every year after Rosh Hashanah, there is a very high mortality rate by the fish, more fish die after Rosh Hashanah every year. They wanted to stop it, and they said, let's continue. Let's still be nice and give the entire community the chance to do Tashlich in our house, because here in the Shemesh we hardly have any water sources. And every time, it's just those averas that people feel are moving onto the fish, the bad energy that goes out in a beautiful tefillah of Tashlich, it goes on the fish and the fish die. I heard also it happened in India. Yeah, that's where it goes. A person should behave the same way with his friend. And the person is the Rosha, but he's also suffering. He's a sufferer. He suffered a lot. Don't hate him. Once he already was ashamed by his sin and he got the punishment, you should accept him again like your brother. This is, by the way, a pasuk in the Torah. Once he was whipped, that's the example the Torah brings, he's like your brother. Even the Modim, people who rebelled against Hashem and who were punished for that, have rachmanus on them. Save them from enemies. Don't say, he's suffering. Good for him. Good for him. I know this guy was such a sinner. You don't know what I know he did. No, he's suffering. Great. No. Don't say that. Have rachamim on him. Just like the Kadosh Baruch Hu, once we say we're sorry and we mean it, he transfers the sin to a different realm, a different place. So too, we should do with our friends in our own courtroom in our minds. As I explained, thank you very much.